Welcome back to 6 and 6, where we cover 6 stories from around the world in 6 minutes or less. With that said, start your timer. We begin today in Brazil, where they are experiencing temporary relief from food inflation due to bird flu's impact on the global poultry production. As one of the world's largest chicken exporters, Brazil has been able to adapt to market shifts caused by the avian flu, filling supply gaps for the international markets. Our quotes today come from Reuters. Quote, "This year, the bird flu's impact has significantly reshaped the global poultry trade. Countries are tightening import regulations and seeking safer sources for their poultry needs. Brazil's ability to ramp up production and fill the gap left by countries struggling with avian influenza had temporarily cooled local food inflation. Experts caution that this relief might be short-lived, as other inflationary factors, including rising feed prices and enduring cost of living increases, continue to pressure the market." End quote. Next, we travel across the Atlantic to Africa, where former Prime Minister Augustin Mata Ponyo has been convicted of embezzling millions of dollars from a failed agricultural development project in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The project, intended to revitalize the country's farming sector, collapsed due to alleged mismanagement and corruption. This conviction represents a significant legal milestone in the DRC's fight against government corruption. From Reuters, quote, "This verdict is a clear message that no one is above the law regardless of their previous political standing. This misappropriations of fund has direct consequences on our nation's development and economic potential. By holding such a prominent political figure accountable, we are taking a critical step in rebuilding public trust." End quote. Next, we go to a story coming out of Canada in North America, where they are exploring significant investments in national defense centered around the proposed Golden Dome defense shield. Prime Minister Carney announced the initiative as a strategic response to increasing global security threats. The proposed defense system aims to bolster Canada's security infrastructure and align with international defense priorities. This move reflects a proactive approach to national security in an increasingly complex geopolitical landscape. From Reuters, quote, "Canada is at a critical juncture when it comes to our national defense strategy. With the evolving landscape of global threats, we must take proactive steps to fortify our security measures." That was a quote directly from Prime Minister Carney. Quote, "The Golden Dome is not merely a theoretical concept, it is a vital path forward for ensuring the safety of our citizens and infrastructure." End quote. And next, we travel across the Pacific to our friends in Japan, following up on a story that we actually covered in the last episode on Tuesday. Japanese Farm Minister Toru Yamada has resigned following controversial remarks about rice that sparked significant public and political backlash. His comments were perceived as insensitive to the cultural and economic importance of rice in Japan and led to intense criticism from opposition parties and farmers. From Reuters, quote, "Rice is not just a crop in Japan, it's a cultural cornerstone." Yamada's remarks demonstrated a profound misunderstanding of this fundamental reality. And before we go on to more of the quotes, the overall summary of his quote was, "Oh, I haven't had to buy rice in quite some time," which seems a little bit out of touch of the people, is what they were implying, a lot of these commentators. There's one more quote we'll get to, which is, quote, "The resignation reflects the delicate political balance required when discussing agricultural policies in a nation where farming traditions run deep." End quote. Next, we travel to the south to New Zealand, where their recent budget announcement introduces significant austerity measures targeting the public sector, with Finance Minister Grant Robertson emphasizing the need for fiscal discipline and debt reduction. The proposed cuts have sparked widespread concern among public sector unions and businesses who fear potential job losses. And now, for our quote from Reuters, quote, "We are in a position where it is vital to ensure that we do not spiral into unsustainable financial practices." That came from the finance minister. Quote, "Tough decisions today will lay the groundwork for a more stable and prosperous future." That also came from Finance Minister Robinson, end quote. And our final story comes from Europe, where a former Ukrainian politician was fatally shot outside an American school in Madrid while leaving the school's premise. The victim, reportedly a former member of the Ukrainian parliament, has been living in Spain for several years after seeking refuge from political turmoil. Spanish authorities are currently investigating the incident with no specific details about the motives or gunman's identity. And then our quote comes, quote, Victim's identity has been officially confirmed by the Spanish authorities, but a source familiar with the situation identified the deceased as a former member of the Ukrainian parliament. Despite his quiet life in Spain away from the political turmoil back home, the tragic event has raised suspicions of political connections to his political past. End quote. And if you want to check out any of today's articles, all of them will be linked in the description below. Like and subscribe button. Also down there, you can find the podcast on Spotify, Pocket Cast, Podvine, as well as the Twitter handle at Your Daily Flip, where I post the link to both these episodes that come out on Tuesday and Thursday, as well as the episodes they come out on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which are more US focused and run about 10 to 15 minutes. So with all that said, there's only one more thing to say. Stay safe, don't die.